Should we Jubilee the Kang? It's actually good because of the Dracula. We're actually supposed to, right? But we don't need to. This is another case of let's not go for the Kang because we're winning, right? We don't need it.
12 seconds later.
It turns out we did need Kang. Oh, God. And we get to see what kind of stuff they've got with the big man. Magneto. Jeff.
Impressive. Very nice.
Not very impressive.
Let's see Paul Allen's card.
I'm going to go for it like this. Depends on what happens with the Jubilee and the Dracula. So we low roll the first one. We lost two 50-50s on the Jubilee and the Dracula there. The Infinaut is, of course, an iconic Marvel Snap card, but it's not all that fun having to skip turn 5. So instead, we're going to discard the Infinaut and get its 20 points in a bunch of different ways. This is the ultimate discard deck, a 56.3% win rate over 140 games. Very, very powerful deck indeed. I got to the top 2,000 in the world using this list, and I'm sure I could get it even higher in time. Black Knight is the centerpiece card in this one. The most powerful way of playing discard does revolve around Black Knight. The Ebony Blade is a 20-point card, potentially, if we discard Infinaut, which cannot have its power removed and it cannot be destroyed. So it's definitely great against Shang-Chi, which is, of course, very popular. Also nice against Shadow King. And don't forget, you can sneak this into locations like Death's Domain on the final turn to surprise your opponent and get those crucial 8-cube victories. We are also, of course, playing Ghost Rider, which can resurrect our Infinaut a little bit later on for a 23-point play for just 4 energy is absolutely obscene. Let's not forget about Dracula, who, if Infinaut is the last card in our hand, is going to be guaranteed to hit Infinaut. And actually, in this deck, there's a lot of ways where we can guarantee the Infinaut hit very, very consistently. And Dracula is an absolute powerhouse in this one. Jubilee, as well, is another way we can cheat out the Infinaut stats early in the game. No surprise with our Ghost Rider and Black Knight that we have Lady Sif to discard the highest cost card in our hand. This is going to be Infinaut or some other big cards. Unsurprisingly, we've got some other big cards in this deck to accompany the Infinaut and make the deck more consistent. We have Giganto. Magneto, of course, going to be a very nice card to play on turn 6 as well. Red Skull is a flexible spot, and if you are queuing into lots of magic decks or just want to try something a bit different, I did play a lot of games with Legion instead of the Red Skull. This was because I kept queuing into Living Tribunal decks that were just outpointing me, but with a Legion to shut down the magic, I was able to turn those losses into big cube victories. On average, I would recommend Red Skull, but Legion for Red Skull is definitely a tech option to consider. We also have a Zabu. Zabu is, again, helping us dump our hand to ensure that the Dracula is hitting a big card. It also enables us to play Dracula, Jubilee, or Ghost Rider on turn 3, which irons out our curve. And very importantly, we have the option then of playing 2 of our 4-cost cards on turn 6. So rather than just playing a Magneto, we can instead play Dracula and Ghost Rider, and then our Dracula can eat the Magneto, or preferably, of course, the Infinaut. Finally, last but certainly never least, the least important card in any deck he is included, but a card which is very close to my heart, and particularly in this deck. Many people will disagree, but I firmly believe that Kang is undeniably, objectively, in my subjective opinion, the best card in the game 1 in 6 games, which is when you draw him on turn 5 or turn 6. The reason for this is you draw Kang on turn 5, you snap, your opponent might run away, you get some information, and then the Kang is going to disappear from your deck, and you draw a different card instead, turning your deck into an 11-card deck, which is very similar to what Chavez did, but way better, because instead of getting that turn 6 top deck you don't want, you're just going to be drawing another card. So this works on turn 5 if you draw him, or on turn 6, which works out 1 out of 6 games, which is actually quite a lot. And of course, not only are you giving yourself that consistency with Kang, but you're also getting so much information. Often your opponent is going to retreat. You do have to bear in mind with Kang, though, that they might change their play. However, in this deck is where Kang is shining even more, because in those games you don't draw Kang on turn 5 or turn 6, Kang is actually going to reduce the amount of cards that you have in your hand, increasing the odds of Dracula hitting your Infinaut. The other thing to mention is that your opponent is going to be unaware of how many points your Dracula is playing for, whereas often with Kang, you're going to know exactly what it is hitting. So even if you Kang on turn 6, you get to see exactly how many points your opponent's best play had, but they are still unaware of how many points your Dracula Dracula is going to play for, and they're also, of course, unaware of what you're going to be playing from your hand. I'm a huge fan of Kang. This deck, he has a home in, and there are more Kang decks coming soon. But remember, Kang is the least important card in any deck you play him, and therefore he is absolutely replaceable. Again, the Red Skull and Legion just being the cards that I'm kind of flip-flopping between, just including both of those makes a lot of sense. You could also include some other cards which just have big stats. Cards like Scar, Hulk, Death are also options if you're, for example, missing a few of the cards in this deck. They would be decent replacements. I would recommend avoiding cards like Swordmaster and Gambit, though, because they have random discard and are going to make your Ghost Rider a lot worse on average. I think Black Cat is a serious consideration. Again, if you're missing some of the cards, you could go for Black Cat. With the Zabu, you're going to be able to play her on turn 3 quite often, and she is also emptying your hand, increasing the odds of your Dracula. The thing I don't like about Black Cat is that she can make your Ebony Blade and Ghost Rider worse than they otherwise would be. The most important line of play to consider with this deck is when you play Blade. A lot of the time, you're going to have Blade on turn 1, and you're going to have the option to discard something like a Magneto. Often, it's going to be worth going for that if you have Ghost Rider in hand. But other times, I do tend to like greeding and just trying to find that Ebony Blade and then getting Blade value later. If you can get the Black Knight down and then Blade, it's of course going to be significantly more value, and you're much more likely to be able to snap on a moment like that. But you can definitely take the Blade early if it's hitting something good and you already have access to Ghost Rider. When should you snap with this deck? The main thing you're looking for is a good curve. Access to Black Knight as well as access to Zabu, and a turn 3 play is often going to be good enough for you to snap. Make sure you give the video a like and subscribe for more if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about Kang? Am I crackers, or are you a proud member of the Kang gang? Okay. Pretty good location for us. Gonna take the snap. Obviously, we'd rather hit the Giganto than the Red Skull off of the Sith, but we'll have to see. Interesting. We could Blade for the guaranteed blob. Let's take the Sif still. Don't hit the Red Skull. Nice. So I actually used to play Blob in this deck. Last season I was playing Blob, but it doesn't make much sense. Blob is bad with Jubilee, and yeah, so what was it? Giganto? I mean, we could take the Blade to then Ghost Rider the left. But I don't really think we want to Blade just yet. We can always just Blade on 6, can't we? Let's match up the Thor with the Ghost Rider. Okay, quite spooky. Weird deck so far, I have to say. Can give us an extra card draw. Do we want that? I think we don't. We just go early blob. I mean, I think we know what's coming. It's possible we shouldn't even bother with the Kang here, because I don't really see how we can lose. Maybe they're like, oh, I'm going to surprise them, but then with the Kang, they play the card, and then they're like, oh, I don't have surprise value, but it's really not a surprise. This is probably a moment where playing Kang is not really worth it, because I don't have Dracula on the board. Probably was just better off going for the Magneto Blade. I very much doubt they're ever staying in this one. Huh? think we just cost ourselves 2 cubes by playing the Kang. I think it was a bad decision to play it. There's some situations where like when we just know that we're winning, there's like no risk almost. Kang helping opponent, yeah, but that was on me, not on my opponent. That was on me. I didn't need to play the Kang there, right? Double Black Knight is an option. I don't hate it. I don't like it particularly. Rather just get the Black Knight down in Stark Tower, I think. Also, it makes my Dracula worse. You could have Magneto and Kang both. No, we could have in this case because I had +3 energy. I could have Jubileed into Kang and Magnetoed. It was guaranteed Jubilee into Kang. The least points on the blade we could have got there. Let's get the stats in the mixer in Stark Tower early. Chance we move one of their cards in as well. Quite like Giganto off to the left. Nice. Cyclops might be good enough for them to take it. Oh, it moves magic, get in. I always get it wrong what cost this is. I thought it was a 2 cost. So we're looking good. The question really is that snap worthy? Surely it is. Don't call me Shirley. We're not interested in playing Dracula. Let's just go Blade and then Giganto. Or something. Maybe I should have just gone Blade left and then Giganto left. I could also see that. Nice. Blade's actually a really good find here. Cute. Bloop. Really nice. Very solid. And it has a Kang. Of course it has Kang. Kang's great. I am the Kang connoisseur, the Kang believer. The one man in the world who believes Kang is good. Well, actually my chat is starting to believe as well now. So the idea of Kang, in this deck in particular, is that it is increasing the odds of our Dracula hitting something very good. Now, I'm not sure if we want to stick with Legion. The idea of Legion was that we kept queuing into Magic players yesterday because there was lots of Magic players on Thingamajigamabobo. Living Tribunal, but that was before Kamartaj was hot location. So I'm not sure Legion is going to be worth it over the Red Skull, which is what we were playing before. We missed Zabu, we missed Sif, so we had no curve here. Jubes into Kamartaj is pretty tempting. Elsa Bloodstone, that's not a real card. Blade or Sif would be nice. Ghost Rider would be nice if pulled after one of those two. Are we getting Shuri Kitty Prided? Oh, what's about to happen? Nice. And here's the Ghost Rider. Oh shit! Blade! No! Okay, Ghost Rider off the top is insane though now. Am I getting beta ray? Probably not, just because I'm going on holiday. I do think the card's pretty okay, though. I've actually been really enjoying, like, Lockjaw decks. I think I'm taking the Zabu. Does that make sense? Not really. I guess I'll just take the Legion then. They might Shuri us this turn, so... Is it not just a big thought? I think the card's okay, but yeah, pretty much. The question is, it's like, how worth it is it actually in a standard Lockjaw deck? Over, like, Dracula, for example. I'm not sure it's that worth it. It dilutes your Lockjaw potentially a bit too much. It might be worth it. But I'm not sure it's that worth it. That's one big lass.
Oh, snap.
Kang snap. Of course, they might retreat. I'm a bit sad about losing the Kamartage, but I was scared of Shuri. I think we're just losing this, honestly. We lose to Taskmaster, right? Do we always lose to Taskmaster? It's actually kind of a 50-50. Okay, chat, I need your advice. It's a 50-50, so we snap it. Because we just have to play the Ghost Rider in the same lane that they play the Taskmaster. Or the Kitty, right? They obviously are going to play one here. But then which other lane? Chat, tell me, do I go 1 or 2? Type in the chat, 1 or 2? 1 or 2? 1 or 2? You decide. 1 or 2, chat. Foster goes for a 1. We've got Dr. Rum with a 1. We've got Jedson with a 2. We've got Lost with a 1. Captain with a 3. Shut up. Kipton Cop with a 1. 2, 2, 2. It's pretty 50-50. I'm seeing a few more 2s. But the 1s are making a bit of a comeback. This is absolutely redonkulous. Lily Pat comes in with a 1. Sammer with the 2. Without Wax with the 1. Well, here we go. A late surge of 1s. A late surge of 1s. The 1s. Chat. You're insane. You're insane, chat. You actually did it. You won us the video game. I'm proud of you guys. I am proud of you guys. Chat, you're insane. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Oh my god. Kamartage is not doing anything for our deck, by the way. Well, it gives us Jubilee. And potentially, like, double Black Knight. Off Sif. Pog Champ.
Snap.
Not double Black Knight, but double Ghost Rider. Let's take the double Sif. Double Sif into double Ghost Rider. It would be rude not to, wouldn't it? The Zabu is actually very good here. The concern is if I go Wolverine and it spawns here, it kind of screws me. But if I don't take Zabu now, when am I taking it? Never. Just don't go left, Wolverine. You douchebag. Don't be a douchebag, Wolverine. Oh, he's such a douchebag, isn't he? Yep. Sure enough. Douchebag. Told you. What an absolute douche. Ooh, we could. We certainly could. Why not? Yo, Skiptron with the follow. Welcome. Lovely to have you. D-Ron, Sir Deeks. Hello, hello, hello. Oh! So in this instance, because we are playing Kang the turn we drew him, he's not thinning our hand, but rather thinning our deck, so we're going to see an extra card. Which actually is probably not ideal, because we could have gone Dracula, Ghost Rider Dracula, which would have been a point more. We'd rather the Kang not thin our deck in this instance. And that's what's quite unique as well in a deck like this. So it's Grandmaster on the... Do you know what this stinks of, guys? This stinks of someone that's watching my stream and makes a weird ass play that no one would ever make because they know that I've got Kang. This is my hunch. This is what this play looks like. But let us see. Let us see! I also just could have not gone for the Kang there, but I don't know. I wanted to see what they had up their sleeve. There was no reason that I had to go Kang. So if they retreat, some would say Kang cost me the game, but I didn't have to play Kang there, right? So it was my decision to play Kang. Looks like Loki. Loki's probably good against us. I would say Loki is gonna have a bit of a field day against our deck. We could maybe look to do like Legion in Jotunheim. Yo, the Punchy with the follow, welcome. Lovely to have you. Just gave him a blade. Where's my curve at, bruh? All the cheap cards. Nowhere to be seen. So do they have the Loki? This is the question. They do. Yo, Nero, we're going to be going for a long time. I'm planning on streaming until I go to bed, basically. Oh, we're just drawing like an absolute waste, man. Black Knight's great. If you mean like worth it as a card to craft, yeah, Black Knight's great. It's looked bad in this small sample size of games. We've been drawing badly. But yeah, really good card. The key to making discard good. In all honesty. Pretty bad Jubilee. Nice.
Victory.
Nice. We find the Black Knight. We find the Black Knight. Trust me. So I'm playing for greed here that we might actually hit the God curve. Of course, like, I want to blade one of these big guys, so I might end up regretting that. Okay. Should probably play Black Knight into Mojo World. We're gonna Jubes the Kamartage, I suppose. Okay, magic is great news for us because I play Legion. So we might even want to delay the Jubilee to try and hit the Legion, maybe? Like I want a Legion on 5. On 6 rather. Prize value. Armor? Sure. Bit of a random card. Hog! Thank God it wasn't something better. My goodness. I think this is snap worthy, right?
Snap. Opponent
They snap back too? Oh, bro. I'm kind of anxious, mate. Like, I didn't play the blade earlier and I kind of regret it. This is going to seem super wonky.
I am Iron Man.
Come on. I don't want to see Legion off the top there. Do we try our luck? I mean, maybe. Ty's left. They're probably just skipping the turn, right? She-Hulk's stuff. The concern is like, I kind of have to play to tie the left. Then I'm just banking on not hitting the blade. They didn't skip.
Such is my judgment.
The problem here was that we drew the flipping Legion.